Well, what do we have here? This is my old 2004 Polaris Ranger 500. This is my old yard dog. I gotta do a little maintenance to it today. I tell you, people can say what they want to say about Polarises, but this old Ranger right here, I don't know if you can see that, it's got 1,047 hours on it. You know, this has been a great machine, but it's time to change the oil in it. And I got a busted axle boot. Got one boot right there that is busted. So, let's see here. Yeah, there we go. So I got to change that boot. So, let's tear into it and I'll show y'all how to change the axle boot. This is what I'm going to be using. You know, there's several of these style fast boot tools. I picked this one up off eBay. I think I gave like $75 for it. And you know, there's the fast boot. Basically the way this works is you put this boot over. Essentially what it does, this tool spreads this boot open so you can get it over the CV joint without having to take the CV joint off. And that's the oil I'm gonna be using. I put Rotella and everything. So let's get to it. All right, let's get the oil out of this beast and get the oil filter off of it. You know, these old 500 Rangers are really easy to change the oil in. It's very, very simple. STP filter on last time. Going with a Wix this go around. Alright, got the new filter. Going with a Wix this time. You're going to put a little oil around the O-ring. Of course, you want to look at your old filter, make sure the gasket stayed on the old filter. Pretty sure everybody should know that. Alright, got the new filter on it. So now let's put our 2 quarts of Shell Rotella in it. Now the oil I'm using is the Shell Rotella T6 full synthetic 5W40. I know the PS4 is a full synthetic oil. It's what is it, 5W50 I think it is. But you know, having to go to the local Polaris dealership and get the oil, I run this stuff in everything. You know, we got 5.4 tractors on the farm. We run, you know, the T4 in all of our tractors. I run the T4, my old Power Stroke, and I run the gas truck oil in my 6.2 gas truck I have. You know, so it's just easier to stay one brand. You know, I put Rotella in everything. So let's put our 2 quarts in. This is 3 quarts, so I gotta measure it out. Yeah, I just changed all of my dad's Ranger. He has a 500 Ranger. I also have a Yamaha YXZ. I'm currently still using the Yamalube in it, but I'm fixing to swap it over to Rotella as soon as I I have like 3 quarts of Yamalube left. I'm fixing to put Rotella in it. Alrighty, there's our 2 quarts. So at this point, basically you just want to check it, make sure fluid level is correct, start it up, and let it idle for a couple seconds and recheck it. Alright, let's get to changing that axle boot. Alright, so safety first. I want to get it jacked up. I use a little bottle jack on my lift. Get the tire off the ground and then put a jack stand underneath it. So now at this point, we just want to take the wheel off of it and get the axle, brake caliper off, get the axle off, and get the axle out of it. These Mac Expert sockets really hang on to the nut. Put the bottle jack down, put it on the jack stand, take that out underneath it. Gotta get our brake caliper off, get our axle nut, remove the car pin, get the axle nut off. Basically, we'll take the whole outer hub off so we can get the axle out of the machine. Alright, let's get the car pin out. Axle nut off. And now I got to pull the brake caliper off. How many Polaris did you see the hub come off that easy? Why it come off that easy? A lot of people fight these, they get stuck. When I first purchased this machine, I did preventative maintenance. I put anti-seize, never seize on all my hubs and bearings, so to make it easy to be able to get the hubs off. Alright, so now I got to get the axle, the carrier off. Just want to note, on all these older Rangers like this, all the suspension components was SAE. Everything on the engine was metric. A lot of people hated Polaris because of that. You had to have 2 sets of tools to work on. You had to have SAE and metric. But on this old Ranger, unfortunately, everything is, it's old school SAE. So you gotta have 9/16. And later on, I think 2008 and up, they started, everything going to metric. All right. So there we have it. Now I just gotta, I'm not gonna lie to you, I hate to pull the axle out and lose oil. This is the cool part about that fast boot. Technically, we can change this boot right here without disturbing that axle, without taking it out. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut the shock loose, or I can pick this up out of the way, and then cut the axle boot off, do it right here. Make it a little bit easier. That's set right there. Boom, now we got good access to the axle. So let me get that boot cut off. Alright, so the best way to get this boot off of here, just want to get these clamps off first. Clamp. Two clamps. Take a good pair of scissors. Cut it off. There's that part. There's that part. So now what I would suggest, I would not clean this grease out. You can see, I mean, I caught it, before I went into any mud or anything, so the grease is still good. So basically what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna clean this up right here, clean this up on the outside, and put the new boot on. All right, so let me get it all cleaned up and get the axle boot ready. All right, got it all cleaned up. Got my tool, got my boot. Now, a little trick, if you're doing the outboard boot, you'll put the fast boot on the tool just like this. If you're doing the inboard boot, what you'll do is want to flip this inside out, then put it on the tool, and when you get it on there, you'll flip it back the opposite direction, and it'll be for the inboard. But in this situation, we're doing the outboard. So you want to get the boot, you want to make sure you get it over the fingers. You don't want to use any kind of lube, no WD-40, anything like that, because you don't want it to slip. Alright, so make sure the fingers are sticking out about a ½ inch. Get your airline. Alright, now this seems kind of scary. You're probably thinking right now, if nobody's ever used this or seen this, how is that, 3/4 of an inch going to spread open to over 3 inches, go over that CV joint? I tell you, it works, it does. You would think it would split this boot, but the material they make these fast boots out of, it's got some elasticity to it. I mean, it stretches pretty good. So, like I said, I want to make sure that it's all the way on and start to spread it. Alright, this is the tricky part, getting it off. There you go. Boot's on. So you set the tool to the side, and what you'll want to do now is bring the boot down into position, and we want to put a little extra grease on it. And cut the tip of this. Put a little extra grease inside the boot. Plenty. Then you just slide it down. place. Try not to get any grease over the end of the boot. Alright, that's it. Of course, I got a little grease on it. Sometimes it's kind of unavoidable. Alright, now the way this tool works is to put the clamps on. You know, the kit comes with 2 clamps. I always like to do the outside one first. And the way I like to put them on there, the way this is going to work, you know, the tool will pull the clamp tight and it bends it over, and then you bend these little ears to hook it. So the rotation is going this way, so I want to put the clamp this way so to bend over, you know, just no grass or anything will hook the clamp and could possibly, you know, tear it open. So basically what we want to do now is put the clamp inside the tool like so. You know, and they got better tools out there. But you want to get all the slack pulled through. Alright, so I want to put it on like this. Alright, so we got our boot is all the way in position. I'll pull the slack out. See if we can get this in the shot here where you can see it. Alright, so now we just want to roll it up, start tightening it, and it don't take much. And when you start to see the boot start to pinch, that's basically all you need. So you hold it right here, and then you just fold it over, and then you cut it. Finish bending it over. Take a little small ball peen hammer, and you just want to bend the little tabs. Bend the tabs over, and that's it. And that's how you replace an axle boot and reclamp it. Looks good. Then you just repeat the process on the top one, same thing. So let's go ahead and do that one. All right, so same thing. I want the clamp this way. So I gotta put it through. Get it pulled through. Same thing. So make sure it's in position. Wind it up a little bit. Put a little tension on it. Fold it over. And cut it. Take your ball peen hammer. Tabs over. And there we go. It's that easy. One brand new axle boot. Like I said, I got the tabs facing, you know, the rotation, so it's going this way, so no grass or anything can hook it and tear the clamp open. Well, feels good. And that's how you fix an axle boot and change the oil on the Ranger. So if you like this video, please hit that like button, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.